You're a good boy. Place.
Learning place for Barry today.
Very nice. And stay.
Tap the tone, say place, point, teach him to get on the bed. That's step one. Step two is to teach him to stay on the bed. Even though it's a small bed for him, he probably needs one size up. He can make it work. Place is a lot like down. It is a stay command. It's for impulse control, boundaries. And as you can see, it usually just takes one rep to teach them to stay. Typically they get on, they step right back off, we give a correction, they stop doing that. Eventually we'll pair the down command with this, but right now we're just working on the stay part, trying to get any mistakes out, and then further on into the command we'll ask for the down. That is the end expectation, is for him to get on and lay down. This should eliminate free roam around the house. They said he's had a history of tearing up crumble cookie boxes, turning on gas burners, opening.
Is this?
Yeah. So it's a safety issue. We're introducing some more dogs. We're just teaching him, like, even though there's other dogs walking around, it still doesn't give you permission to walk off. So it's a pretty easy trigger. He steps right off the bed, he gets the correction, he gets led back on. And then this time, as you see, he commits even further and lays down. That is no coincidence. That is why we do what we do. We don't micromanage. We're not telling him to down. We're letting him decide on his own after getting all those mistakes out of his head.
That's the big difference of how we do it versus what we've seen in other places is we're not trying to keep him successful. We want him to do the mistakes so that he will be successful. So him making mistakes is how he's becoming educated, because I can't write it down, the rules down on a piece of paper and have him read it. He has to explore. Yeah. And also, especially with a dog like this, a working breed, we mention all the time, is if I just kind of keep him there, which I could. I could keep him there by like say no, down, right?
Stay, yep.
Anxiety.
Yeah,
Anxiety.
especially in a
So he
shepherd.
needs to try what's on his mind, see it doesn't work, and then the anxiety goes away. Stuff is just like, if you can't control the movement, even in a sterile room, then there's no chance.
Yeah.
There's no chance that you're going to even be able to control it with an event, let alone outside the living room. So if you get in the living room and there's nothing going on, and you're having trouble having them stay, you know it's going to be a mess. So the leader controls movement. You start in a quiet room. It's just you and the dog, and see where you're at. And then it becomes easy, and then you add elements into the room, dogs, people. And then from there, you go to the outside world, right? But if you check in with your dog, just check in and see how they're doing. Stay, sterile room, walk away. It's unreliable, it's difficult, it feels fussy. Lots of work can be done with just you and a dog in an empty room with nobody around. No triggers, no dogs, nothing. Nothing to get him like in a fuss. You're just establishing hierarchy. I said stay, right? I said no. You have to let them know you're serious when you speak. When words come out of your mouth, if they're not backed up, then they become irrelevant. And dogs literally, they drown you out. They don't even hear you anymore. So if I were to say no to him, I'm not going to say no to him or give him a command unless I'm prepared to back it up. So if I tell him to place, that's only because I'm 100% prepared to back it up, right? If I told him to place and I wasn't prepared to back it up, then what would happen is it would weaken not only the command, but me as leader. You would see me deteriorate my position. Every time we have a conversation and it doesn't go, I'm not able to control the movements. All right, so it's very important you get a lot of work done when you say stay and then carry out your business, whether it's sweeping, mopping, whatever you're doing. The dog's having trouble with that, there's progress to be made. You don't even need to leave your living room. You don't even need to call up a trainer or anything. You can just work on you and your dog. You should be able to figure it out. Get on the bed, stay on the bed. The dog won't have trouble understanding what you're saying. He won't want to listen to you as leader, and you have to deal with that. That's you and him, right? This training gives you the ability to correct in a way that's clean and efficient and it works, right? E-call, correct, right? It's not the only way to correct. There's tons of trainers that do it many, many different ways. But the point is that you have to deliver a correction that you feel comfortable with, that works. And if we're not delivering corrections like that, and we can't get our dog to, in a sterile room, like I said, nothing going on, to stay, that does mean that you're never going to have a chance, ever, outside or if somebody comes to the door. Never going to have a chance. So once it gets easy with just you and the dog, it's like, okay, he listens to me when it's just me and him. Then the thing is you're competing about resources and stack, or in hierarchy, right? Somebody comes to the door, I want to be able to deal with it. he tries to deal with it, we're talking about hierarchy.
Yeah.
That's all it is. We're literally having a conflict over resources. I want to deal with Sparky. So it is that simple. He is thinking that way. He is a dog. That is how he thinks. He does think about hierarchy. He will read the room and say, oh, nobody's here that I have to listen to, and act accordingly. Or he'll read the room and say, oh, daddy's home, or mommy's home, I better not do that, right? Or that's like the cop behind you when you're driving, the state trooper, and he's right behind you, it adjusts your behavior. You slow down to the speed limit, you turn the radio down. If we don't have that effect on our dogs, then it becomes the Wild West, and it manifests into everything that everybody complains about. Pulling, barking, dog fighting, not listening, tearing, destruction of the house. All that laundry list is just dogs who have not committed to a human in the way that we need them to, fully. And they fool us. They listen just enough, and they manipulate and charm just enough, where you say, here's the laundry list of everything he does bad, but over here, he is amazing, he's perfect, he's awesome. All right, and that's enough for you to just like live with it. Right? Until, back over the list, oh, now he did a kid. Oh, now he knocked over an old lady and there's a lawsuit. Oh, now and this guy had a real one, injured his knee and had to get a replacement knee. Then it becomes heavy stress and it's like, well, okay, let's take care of this. But we're willing to put up with so much red flags and nonsense before it gets to something that catches.
He also almost burned the house down.
Right, but for me, now the reason why I learned that I would be a good dog trainer is because for me, I take it just as seriously if I tell him to stay on that bed and he doesn't, or if I tell him no and he doesn't listen, as that he just bit a kid's face.
It's true.
Well, I do. I really do. That's why, because that's how my dad also was in the house, was like, he kept it stable because we were crazy. There was 4 of us. It was nuts. There was dogs. There was rules. There was rules. And if you break those rules, there's consequences. Period. Now, did I know my dad loved me? Yep. Was I afraid of my dad? No, but I respected him. I knew that if I crossed my dad, I was looking for it, right? It was going to come to me. But if I was good, it wasn't going to come to me. All right? So that's all this is. That you can read all the books you want. You can look into the science. This is all it is. He is not any more educated now, really, than he was before he came here. He already knew these commands that we got to. We haven't got to heel yet. He's already known the recall. He already knows down. He understands the concept of place. He didn't learn any of that. The only thing that's different is now he's in a pack where he can't lead. If he tries to lead, then I'm going to have a confrontation with him. I'm going to correct him. And if he comes back at me, he's going to get corrected again. We'll have this back and forth. That's natural. It's what they do with each other. If we avoid that, we won't get real success. We'll only be able to tiptoe around that, take resources, high-value resources from the world like steak or treats or toys, and try to get motivation to move him from place to place. That is not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in being able to sit down in my living room and have control out of respect and trust because of the way I live with them. I don't want to have to be like, okay, hang on, let me go get a chicken liver. That's not working. Let me try a steak. If you catch yourself there, you've already lost. Wrong conversation. If you're not listening, I'm not worried if you're hungry. Okay? I'm like, oh, you're hungry? No. Okay. So, he's good now, and like the owner said, he has Barry and Gary, right? The alter ego. Gary probably shows up when you've had enough of Barry not listening, and you push a little bit further, and then all of a sudden he goes into Gary, which is just Barry still. It's almost a little unhealthy to separate the two, because then you shoot yourself in the foot, kind of. You make it so you think that Barry's perfect, and Gary's this thing that comes about. It's like this mythical creature that comes about when he's being bad. It's all the same. It's not even Barry or Gary. It's a German Shepherd dog, right? We've talked about that before. Yep. All right, so that's what you're dealing with. All right, actually, from as a professional, I'm just looking at. I call him by his name because that's his name, but he's a German Shepherd, male, dominant, doesn't listen. These are the things that I am thinking. I don't have the back history of memories that you have that make him Barry. I don't have that, right? I don't have the cuddles on the couch and the time that we did this and the time he was there for me when I fell.
You're just like, does he listen or not?
That's why there's success. So why I bring that up? Because every single person gets caught up in the emotional side. All of us, we've been there. We have dogs, okay? I had to get my personal dog on track. That's how I became a trainer, you too. And there's an emotional hurdle. You have to, the tough love is going to be, if you try to employ that, it will not, you'll stop short because you'll feel bad, okay? If you're thinking that way. Now, I don't think that way anymore. I've gotten myself out of that poison. That stuff's not good. I see things realistically now, and now I get success, and then I can enjoy my dogs afterwards. But if he's not listening, I'm gonna say, we're gonna spend every waking minute that we're together in our relationship, I'm gonna be checking you to make sure we're on point. And then when I feel like you're good, I'll loosen up a little bit. So it's like, you either are casual about it, and you'll get casual results and no results, or you're serious about it and you'll get some serious results. You can't just, I'm just talking in general here. I'm not talking about the owners of this particular dog. But if you get a working breed, it's not good to be a casual owner. You don't really get to be a casual owner without a lot of bad things happening. You have to be serious. Big, powerful dog, serious owner, cool. Big, powerful dog, casual. I'm not saying you're casual because you want to be or not. It's just because maybe your lifestyle is, I'm so busy I can't even afford to put time into the dog. That would make you casual. Even if you have the temperament to be serious and to do it, if your lifestyle is like, I'm being jerked this way by work and then by family and then by in-laws and then you're all over the place, the dog has no time. I got good at this because I, at the time, left my job, didn't really do much with family. It was me and dogs. Me and dogs. Me and my dog. And then me and these dogs. And I spent more time with dogs than people for the last however many years. And that's how you get it. If you gotta decide, are you a casual dog owner or are you stepping up to the plate? There's sacrifices to be made. I don't know, life stories, kids and everything. Everything gets so crazy. But if we want the dog like this to be like top notch, someone's gotta be there to say, hang on, pause to everything. I'm dealing with my dog. Pause to the kids, knock it off. Whoever, this is how I really am though. It's like if there's a problem, knock it off everybody. I need to deal with this. And then it doesn't have to happen so often because everybody knows it'll happen. And there's not one person in the environment, in the house to do that. It'll all fall apart. Whether it's kids or dogs, that's just how it is. I used to work with people, and if there wasn't a staff member that people respected and trusted that would take care of shit, it was chaos and people were getting hurt and things were bad. There has to be at least one, if not both adults in the house on the same page. But that one, if there's only one, he has got to step up to the other adult too, or she, and say, no, this dog's to be on play, keep the rules. Kids aren't allowed to, and people are gonna think you're an asshole. So what I had to deal with, now I'm an asshole. Because I'm enforcing rules. But you know what happens to this asshole? The incidents went down to nothing. Dog fights went away. Barking at nonsense went away. Pulling me on the leash went away. Stress went away. Peace and harmony are now in the house. Because I had to be an asshole. I'm not really an asshole. What I am is just a leader. And you have to make the decision. It starts right here. It's not a physical thing because I'm pretty small. And there's people smaller than me that have run, girls, Drew has seen them, this tall, small, controlling packs of dogs. Mentality goes a long way. That's why you can see a Chihuahua control big dogs sometimes. So our mentality is off, and it leads to, this is me being honest, I honestly believe this. I think I do think that it's very common for people to think of dogs a certain way, and it poisons their relationship. It does. It makes it so you can't have control. We're more concerned about comfort and the dog making us feel good and us making the dog feel good than we are leading the pack. I'm the pack leader. Here's the rules. If you break them, here's the consequences. And then the good stuff comes later. But if the bad stuff starts creeping up, the good stuff goes away. I don't care. I don't care. I don't need to cuddle with you on the couch. I don't need to pet you right now. I need you to listen. Okay? And then we're not going to have lawsuits and babies getting bit and and people getting knocked over and house fires or destruction to the property. Here is the deal. You have to make a decision to get rid of that comfortable stuff that's fun and comfortable. Sacrifice it for control. You're sacrificing all that convenient comfort, that emotional comfort for control. Funny thing is once you take control, you will notice you'll be sacrificing some of that comfy stuff, but if you stick with it, it all comes full circle and you can get some of that stuff back. I say some, because some are going to be left at you're never going to bring them back because you'll notice, if I let him on the couch, all of a sudden, me and him have a big issue the next day. You'll notice these things will happen. And you'll say, okay, maybe no couch, maybe bed. Why? It's all hierarchy. If he gets access to high value resources, he is high value and he is high on the hierarchy, okay? Some dogs can't handle it without challenging you. All right? He doesn't go on the couch. He does not go on the couch. Because then he thinks I'm up here. He lived many years of his life with people who didn't understand dogs. And he's got a lot of bad habits. And as soon as he's on the couch for a day, they're all back. right? And then I just correct him and he's done. But I have to correct him. I have to go out of my way to say, what's going on here? Well, I have access to everything. I'm a buff now. So, I mean, play around with yourself. Get a tight ship, run a tight ship if you can. The reason I have a job is because nobody's running a tight ship. Remember that. You're not alone. This isn't like a Barry's house problem. This isn't everybody's problem. You step into any average house with dogs, you step in and no one's got control. Hey, sorry, he's friendly. As the dogs are rushing. And it's not because the dogs are friendly, they're rushing so no one can stop them. Go from the East Coast to the West Coast, every house. If you find a house where somebody has control, you have found a rare thing. So, and that's because everybody gets, I have that day at work. Barry, you can feel better. Pet Barry, love Barry, feed Barry, play with Barry, all of it. I feel better now. But look at it. Now I feel better. But Barry becomes an anxious mess who's now got all sorts of issues this year. This happened. There's a poison to it, guys. You need to realize that. I'm saying that because I've had suffered from it, and I broke out of that. And as I was breaking out of that, people were trying to bring me back down. No, that's just, you're being an asshole. He's just a dog, let him be a dog. But let him be a dog. You want to see dogs being dogs? Okay, let a squirrel in here. That cute little squirrel, ripped to shreds. That's a dog being a dog. How about a cat? That stuff's all Disneyland stuff. Programming. We've all been programmed, okay? To soften things in our minds here, especially with the animals. There's a lot of money in this industry with toys and treats and fluffy stuff. And you hardly ever hear about anybody training the way we do. Nobody's gonna be like, hey, you gotta correct your dog. They're gonna drive me out of town, right? Because I have reprogrammed my own brain, I can have success with a dog. I don't have anything physically special about me or my brain, okay? It's just I decided to stop seeing things like that, and you know who helped me? They are a gift, because they wake you up and they show you reality. If you want to keep going back to the blue pill, you get red pills when your dog gets into a dog fight, right? You see reality for a second. And what we gotta go back to the delusion. It's more comfortable. Gotta go back to it. It's gotta just, these owners might not be like this, Harry's particular owners. This is not towards them, this is towards general people. I love dogs because they will wake you up and show you reality. Now, reality is not comfortable. No, it's not. There are comforts. The sun, it feels good. There's moments throughout the day that are going to be comfortable, but there's realities that, if you look at how a dog lives in the wild, they're fighting for position, they're fighting for food, they're fighting for the little comforts they get. But they still back each other up when another pack comes or they're in danger, right? But they will correct each other to keep that, making sure the ones who are the best at survival are passing on the genetics. They get the most food and they pass on the genes when it comes to mating season. We're not going to get in the rut and be like, okay, come on, it's your turn to pass the genes along. Get the one up here, he's the one that's going to be impregnating. It's not good for the species as a whole, right? So that's just how it happens out there. We bubble them. We don't treat them realistically. They become anxious, entitled brats, and then the laundry list. That's all it is. Anxious, entitled brats. That's what it is. So we end up getting insecure because they're not fully developed. But I'm insecure, but I'm dominant, right? It's not good. It's just, what they do best with is like, oh, I'm a leader, you listen to me. You have to be a good leader though. You can't abuse the fact that you have control and just control the dog because you have control. I don't do that. So that's just a waste of time for me anyway. I have no interest in just controlling him because I can. I'm controlling because I have to keep peace. And I'll use it as I need it, and that's it. All right? Good. And you need it with him. If I say stay on that bed, and then I tend to something in the room, as simple as picking up that toy and he makes a mistake. Well, what happens when I bring a baby? I can't get him to stay away from this. I can't get him to stay away from that. How can I bring somebody in, a living thing? Or take him and say, let's go out to the world. Well, there's 1,000 times more variables that I have no control over. The secret, the recipe, the thing why I'm going to get him successful here in this room and out, anywhere we go in the world, is our relationship. All right? Once he becomes a pack member, and he allows me to lead. That's our relationship dynamic. I'm leading, he's following. Then he goes through me to get to the rest of the world. So I can bring him places, and he's not trying to tell me where to go, or barking at this, or whining because he wants this person to come. He's allowing me to decide. And then what do? After leading him, I make sure he sees that it's worth it. I do. Off leash time, like you've never had before because you couldn't have it before. High value rewards, but I will give high value rewards for the end of a session. That's good. I will give a nice treat, but I'm not doing this. Sit, treat, down, treat, place, treat. I'm not doing that because that's sending the message of like, we're playing the game. You will earn the big valuable when we sit and eat as a pack. Keep following me. I'm going to eat eventually. You will eat too, and you will eat well. So there's benefits to being in my pack. You get more freedom, you get protection, you get high value resources. But I don't tolerate any nonsense. I mean, I just don't. And that's just my temperament because I need a peaceful environment. I can't have all this chaos. It disturbs my brain, especially as an artist. If I need to sit down and lose myself into a piece, I can't worry about fires happening. I need to know I have a stable house. So we have a pretty stable house, even though we have dogs in here that aren't ours, and we have to readjust our pack to make sure everyone's behaving. Listen, quieter here than a house with one dog, right? And there's many more dogs here than the average house, and everybody's in control, right? And each one of these dogs were a problem by themselves, all right? I'm telling you, it starts with how the humans think. And what you're gonna happen, and I apologize to everybody who starts this journey, because I know how frustrating it's gonna be. You're gonna start it, you're gonna see success with your dog, you're gonna think you have figured something out about life, and then you're gonna run into people tearing you down every corner. And you have to walk through that. They're in a delusion, they're not in reality. They're not. These are in reality. That's why I love them. Them, they're not poisoning mine, unless we poison them. All right? They're beautiful. Good. All the bad habits and everything. Bad habits are just wake-up calls. They're opportunities to get out of the delusion. All right? Now, I usually don't use words that strong, but my belief has been this for a long time. Okay? And my job is to, if we do it right, we help the dog, kind of the easy part, and then we can break the delusion and help people see reality with their dog. All right? That is the part that is the most difficult because people get to make a choice. The hard road is to see things for how they are, and how you're going to get success is you're going to correct the things that you don't want, okay? It's not good enough to just correct big, bad behaviors. It's not good enough, all right? You need to control movement. They do it to each other. Barry, you're a good boy. You're a very good boy. Break.
Good job.